This program is sponsored by Shenanigan Sports Pub.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defoe, and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome fave, with shafafa on the side.
Hello, happy Wednesday, and here we are on another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox, and I am joined today by Mike Lubie Lubitz. Our man Defoe is still in parts. Well, he's parts known. He's parts known. Tell me about his latest, because I think you heard from him on his morning show where we had a historic first where Defoe called in and was a guest on his own show for the first time, which is kind of funny. So
we've done that before when in the radio world. I took over a couple of times, and sometimes we'd have fill-in, so I'd have Defoe on. It was the first time on South Florida Live that Defoe was a guest, yes, on his own show. And it actually went really well. It's not hard to get Defoe going, especially when it comes to degeneracy. He's actually had mixed results. He's alive. He's well in Atlantic City, so that's positive. And yeah, if you missed it this morning, check it out. It's on our archives here on South Florida Live and on our Facebook as well. Yeah, he did well Monday, and yesterday did not do so well, but only because the professor gave him great picks, and Defoe, the horse gambler that he is, has to ruin it going for the home run instead of the single and the double.
I'm happy scrounging out my singles and occasional double.
Exactly.
And, you know, my motto when it comes to gambling is bet a little to win a lot. So there's nothing better to me than when you hit those like little, you play a $6 or $8 ticket, and then you comes back like $200 or $300. That's a good ROI as opposed to these people who play these pick five tickets for thousands of dollars. And at the end of the day, they hit it, but they end up getting back like $3,000, and they invested $4,000. And at the end of the day, that's still losing $1,000. All right.
Yes.
We're here today at Shenanigan's East Side Bar and Grill, East Side Pub, actually. And our friend Patrick Utter is going to be joining us momentarily. He's tied up with a little business now, and we're here doing our business today. And it's great business to be in because we just basically sit here and we will be seeing some, some very tasty platters of food and wings, and their blackened grilled wings they're famous for here at Shenanigan's East Side, along with, I got a classic burger today. I just felt like chomping on some good ground meat.
I don't know if we've done that, actually, with all the restaurants. I don't know if we've done a burger.
They have, one of the things you do, and they're more than just a sports bar here, because Pat really takes pride in his menu offerings. It's really an encyclopedic menu, and a lot of people didn't realize that Pat comes from a fine dining background.
I love that.
He used to work at Martha's Supper Club on the Intracoastal here in Hollywood, which is no more, but for back in the day, it was a very classy joint, and he worked front of the house with a tuxedo, and he started in the business in kitchens, and then he broke off and decided he wanted to start a place of his own, and he started the Shenanigans West Side. That's right across from T.Y. Park, right there at the corner of
grounds.
Yeah, Park Road and Sheridan Street. And then we're here. He bought this property back in 2008. The original Shenanigans has been open 30 years. They celebrated their 30th anniversary this summer.
That's amazing.
And any place that could last 30 years, any place that could last 5 years, let alone 30 years in South Florida means they're doing something right. And but obviously we're surrounded by big screen TVs. There's a bar that has all kinds of drink specials and beer specials all day long. So it is a sports bar technically, but it's a place where this location, they have a breezeway in the middle, and then on the other side is kind of their barbecue operations, a smoker, and a really nice dining room that's family friendly. Like come in there with the kids and the family, and that's more of the family side. And whether it's a big ball game day and want to watch college football, the Canes. I don't know who wants to watch the Canes or Dolphins.
You do want to watch them.
People want to watch the Dolphins. Shenanigans East Side, 1300 South Federal Highway. Come on out. And
they do a great lunch.
Lunches.
They do a great lunch. What's interesting is this is the new location, and it's been around 15 years.
Yeah, 2008 to 2022. It's incredible because I remember when this place where we're sitting in now used to be a Pizza Hut.
That's funny.
And the place next door used to be a Texas barbecue joint, and they'll call Charlie's Barbecue, and they did a pretty good brisket at Charlie's. But opportunity arose. The Pizza Hut ended up being for sale, and Pat bought the whole, part and parcel.
Smart man.
And it's a great complex because it's so roomy here, and it's got whatever you want. If you want the outdoor breeze, you sit in the breezeway, and it's covered,
beautiful.
protected from the elements, but you get that good, fresh, beautiful, warm air. So, I can't sing the praise. It's my local, and
I'm aware.
and that's
they
why
all know
I'm-
you by name.
I've
They're
known
like,
Pat
"Hey,
a
Mayo."
long time, and it's great that not only are we long time customer here, but become friends, and now he's a sponsor, a huge supporter of the Lunchbox show, which is always good. And he's like #1 Dolphins fan, so I can't wait to talk to him about what's
the
going
last time we were
on
here, they were.
with
I think
this
they were
season.
mired in that loot. I don't think they were doing this the last time we were here.
Oh no, yeah. So it's all good. What else is going on? Did you do any kind of eating last night, or you're just kind of in work mode now?
I had my trivia that's also out east at a place called Vega Lounge. So I usually just eat whatever leftovers are there and run out of the house and then do the trivia thing. Once I know we're doing a remote, I'm not gonna lie, I sort of save myself for the remote because I've learned they pour the food on our laps. So it is rude to not eat when people give you food. So I've been setting myself up for some shenanigans fun. And then also Friday, I think, is going to be a blast as well. So I'm really looking forward to what we got going on this week.
Yeah, no, it's Friday. We're going to be going out to Mystic Lobster Company, a relatively new lobster roll spot that's on 17th Street along that whole corridor, which I guess you could call it Tourist Row because it's, all the visitors, and it kind of fits with Visit Lauderdale because we're all about the cruise industry. The Port Everglades is right down there on 17th Street Causeway. The convention center, which is being rebuilt, a massive improvement, upgrades going on, and it's supposed to be, I think, finished finally about 2025. But we'll be down along that corridor on Friday with Nikki Mohan. We hope. I think Nikki's out doing some county business this week in Arizona, not counting ballots out there, but
they could use
some convention and visitors bureau meetings with other, some sort of tourism related duties, I think, in Phoenix. And here we go. We have one and only Pat Utter joining us on the show. Let's see if he's got the headphone. I think he's getting.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
He's ready for his own show. He knows how to put on.
Lucy, guys, I got to tell you, not only do I really enjoy when you guys come out and talk this, but do you remember when they used to have that comical thing, the Bears?
The Bears.
The Bears. So I made sure that we could steer some subject matter to some Shamanah chasing a championship. They got 6 rings in the back.
That's
of course. Yeah,
tell people your connection to Chaminade Madonna High School in I guess it's in Hollywood, Florida, right?
Yeah. It's one of the bright spots here in Hollywood. There's other phenomenal national programs, which American Heritage and St. Thomas. Which
we have a little rivalry going here.
Yeah, we do.
But they're in different divisions, right?
They are.
They're different classes, so they're not going to clash at any point. Although they did have a battle earlier this year that was won by, I can't even remember. I don't think he was out of town that day.
that was quite a battle, right?
So we're talking high school football.
Right.
Because, your son is on the JV squad.
Yes. But my history goes back. I have sons in different generations, but my oldest son never played football before, and he was there with Mark Wandola in the old days, and he went out as a 9th grader, and he ended up playing some division college football.
Nice.
And he won a state championship in 2003 or 4. And John Beeson.
I was going to say, was that the Beeson
John
team?
Beeson era. Yeah, he was the year prior. We had John Beeson. We had Glenn Cook, who's an executive.
He also
right
played
now.
for the Canes as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Now the Shula boys went there too,
the
right?
Shula boys went there back in the 70s.
Yeah.
1974.
Back when it was farmland out there, right?
Yes. Us Catholics, we don't change very much. We recite things. So here in Hollywood, being a big fish in a small pond, if you're an athlete, the place to go is one lane up, one lane back on Johnson Street.
That's it.
To 56th
I
Avenue.
love the carnivals there. I used to go with my daughter all the time.
They have a good feeder system with Nativity.
Yep.
But now they got a great coach, Damian Jones. He's doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah,
Are they
they're becoming a power.
undefeated? They're
They're
undefeated.
undefeated.
Become
And
a
they're like
national
top
power.
10
They're
nationally.
number 7. They're number 7 in the nation.
Right. But who's
I
counting?
think.
I love that he
I
knows
think
that.
St. Thomas might be one ahead of them, 6.
Yeah.
Why do they even have national rankings for high schools? Considering there's no like playoff, it's like
You'd be
they don't get to
surprised.
play
No,
each
you'd be
other.
Well, they don't have
surprised.
equal
No,
competition either.
they do travel. What happens is when you hit that top 10,
Yeah,
they
you play
actually
each other.
travel around the country.
At the beginning of the
Yeah,
season,
they do.
right?
Yeah, and they take on all. And Chaminade takes on all. They have a tremendous quarterback. He's only a junior. He's 6'6", throws a rocket, and they have 5 Division I offensive players. They got 4 wideouts and a great running back. And my son never played football either, and he went out and was taken under the arm by Zeke, which was his coach. They moved him to defensive end. He's tall and rangy.
Nice.
And
Is he
we
an
just-
edge rusher?
He's
Is
a,
he-
yeah.
Oh, he is.
Actually,
That's funny.
actually, we were
How does
big
that work?
Jalen-
They just do a 1-point stand? I mean, it's just
No, you got to get it a little low, but your forearm is your weapon, and he's got those arms like an orangutan, so he can hit somebody.
I don't think that was from
wasn't-
Christine. I
it
think it's
wasn't
from you.
his mom.
Yeah.
It's got I have a size 36 sleeve.
Oh.
So we got that going on, and then of course, football's in the air. We got Friday Night Lights. We got state championships. Cardinal Gibbons also has a great program.
Now I
But we
got to
got-
brag a little because my daughter,
Oh, yeah.
obviously, she can't play on the football team.
Yes. She could.
Although
They
one
have
day, well,
those
she could
kickers.
probably go out for being a kicker,
They play.
but she's a cheerleader.
and beautiful and talented also.
at Heritage. Thank you very much.
She
Again,
takes
that's
after
all
her
her
mom,
mother.
though. She
Yes.
takes after her mom.
Nothing
Yeah.
to do with me,
No,
but no, they had a little
here
schedule
we
glitch.
go.
Oh, we're
Here
hit
we
with
go.
food. I will
So we got
pause
our
for
turkey,
a moment.
and I want you to know there's no turkey shortage here at Shenanigan.
That's great.
We roast our own turkey.
Roasted
This
bird.
is all natural, no steroids,
Nice.
no hormones.
We
This is
figured-
our $13.99 special.
Excellent.
Not
Is that going all week up
$13.99?
until
No, we
Thanksgiving?
have it every Wednesday.
Oh, well, Wednesday
And this
special.
isn't a setup burger. You can see how lavish.
Look at that.
We-
Bacon,
Wow, that's a
cheddar,
nice burger.
nice
What about the bacon?
fries,
Oh, they're not chinted
and of
bacon
course the
either.
black and grilled wings. And,
Yeah,
you
yep,
get all these great things here at Shenanigans. And today, I guess,
Back to the basics.
I love the
30
seafood
years.
and the fish sandwiches and the smoker barbecue items. But today, I
Oh.
just went old school. To me, classic sports bar, when you're talking about football and watching games and the games are getting bigger, the stakes are getting higher. The black and grilled wings and a burger, your
Mhm.
basic
You know
bacon
what's
cheddar burger.
interesting? And sorry to interrupt you.
Yes.
And Defo talks about this all the time. Until they get smell-o-vision, people really aren't going to be able to captivate what we get to experience.
Mm.
Usually the aromas are interesting. Don't get me wrong, but I don't smell them immediately. I sort of like blacked out because you can smell everything
this comes
right
right your
away.
way.
Like,
Yeah,
it's pretty
some places
impressive.
you don't
also,
smell
you see
anything.
this, even though I'm wearing my shades to try to be like the Bears. People eat with their eyes.
Yeah.
You see how lavish these
Yeah,
portions
well,
are?
yeah,
Yeah, I
they're
got to
real
hold up the
broccoli,
platter
real
for the
mashed
people
potatoes.
here. Yeah, it's got a beautiful
Yeah.
dressing.
Real gravy,
stuffing, the
all
mashed-
natural, no
that's-
salt.
Let's
I see
remove
those
this.
red skin,
Yeah,
red bliss
really-
potatoes are working again because I
Thanks.
love
yes,
when
yes,
you get
yes.
the
I
kind of smashed
love that.
potatoes that have
Yes.
those skins in
The
them.
home style.
Because all the nutrition is in the skins, as
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
knows.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. That's where the
And-
nutrition is.
And
Oh,
for the
yeah.
real nutrition, you got the broccoli. So
Yeah,
we
exactly.
give a little
And
bit of
nice
a nod
broccoli.
to green vegetables. But anyway, so thank you again. It's always great to be out
Yeah, we
here
love
and get
being here, man.
bombarded with this great food. And
How
again,
about your South Florida Eats group? They're really, really nice people. I had the opportunity to meet some thanks to you guys. They've
Oh, yeah.
passed through.
great.
Yeah, South Florida Eats. And I'm telling you, haven't been on this journey for a long, long time. There was a time that you kind of took things for granted, but now to be included in the conversation, even in a creative way or a constructive way, just the fact that people are so knowledgeable after COVID, I think they came back with a vengeance. I think 2 years, 2 years they've been home perfecting their own. And so they'll say, okay, so let me see, what's that portion size? It's 8 ounces. What's this? I mean, now they're educated consumers.
People
now.
have become
so
very
funny, man.
savvy.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, we've
Yes.
undergone a food revolution in this
Yes.
country over the last 20 years
Yeah.
since
No,
the
but it went
advent
up a
of
notch.
Food Network. But
Yeah.
now, when
Last
everybody
2-3 years.
stayed at home and had the lockdown, and
Yeah.
one of the things that got me through the lockdown was your takeout window,
Oh,
because
thank you.
that was like
I
that was
lived
heaven
here.
sent for the days where you didn't want to actually be face to face with anybody. You just pull up to that window, put in your order,
Yep.
and I would pick
I
up
had
my
4
wings.
girls working.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it was
I had
great.
4 girls working because people also, I think people also appreciated when they had the opportunity over 6 months to cook for themselves, or have somebody, they ordered, hey, we ordered online, we have the groceries out at the front door. What are we going to do with them? Then they started saying, hey, you have to roast brisket for 12 and a half hours. I have a green egg. I go ahead and use it.
Yeah, good luck.
Go ahead and use that green egg.
They don't realize
No,
the prep time, the labor intensiveness, and that's why everybody's kind of always squawking about food prices. But the labor and the prep and the things that people have to do in order to get the products the right way, it takes it's a labor of love for a lot of people, and I know for you really enjoy having
talk and I walk the walk.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And you put out quality products. And again, the fish here,
thank you.
We don't have any of the fish sandwiches or fish tacos, but it's usually one of my staples here because you always only get the fresh fish, which is terrific. All right, I'm going to munch on a fry.
Go ahead. What brings me to mind is the way that this McDaniel came in. No, I'm just saying, I
was waiting until you were going to mention the team on your hat.
I wanted to say this because here we are with a reset in society, right?
Yeah.
We're doing the same things, but with a new innovative way, right? And here was a product, and we could sit here and lament and talk about Drew Brees, Culpepper, Shula not getting a championship for Marino. I could go
recite it,
we didn't take Matt Ryan, we took Long as a but
I feel like Devo is here.
Yeah, exactly. But
Devo's lamented these exact things for the last 12 years.
When you're like us, and I sold souvenirs like Devo did back in the day, so I could recant everything. But here comes a breath of fresh air. Creative mind, okay? A guy out of the box, and everybody's sitting here, and, you say, oh, well, we had a Machiavellian guy, great defensive guy with Flores. He did this.
He did a good job there.
He did a good job on defense. But the point is, this guy came in and took what he had, okay? He called Tua on the plane.
that day.
And said, you're my guy.
Yep.
I'll let you on a little story. My chef here, Jose, I had his brother, Francisco, that was killed in a tragic car accident. He was always the oldest brother, the leader, the most charismatic. Jose stepped up and has taken me to another level. The most circumstances that come up.
Yeah.
So when this McDaniel came in with this fresh breath of air, and these new athletes, they don't respond well to that screaming and yelling in the 12
Well,
minute,
it's like workers today. They're very sensitive, and you can't yell and say, "What do you mean you're late? You're fired."
I quit.
They
I'll just quit.
Right.
Yeah, they say screw it.
I'll quit.
So you got to learn how to manage people, the younger generation. And look, I'm not calling them soft or anything like that, but it's just different. They come up in a different time.
Yep.
And the brightest people, managers, owners, and coaches learn how to adjust and learn how to get the most out of their talent. And you get the most out of your talent here at Shenanigan's East Side. And McDaniel, thankfully, this is a great week for you because, first of all, you had Shamana Madonna win. And, of course, Heritage won. They ended up playing a delayed game on Monday night, and now they play Saturday instead of Friday. So we don't get the Friday night lights lately because of the hurricane. The storm kind of messed things up. But looking good for all the local high schools that are ranked at the top of their tables in the different divisions, and they reorganize the divisions. I have no idea how it works now, but Heritage, St. Thomas.
It's all by
population.
By school, by the school size. So so you have a certain amount of students. So you're 1A, you have a certain amount 2A.
Yeah,
so you get to a big. We actually went and looked at St. Thomas. There's 1,700 kids there.
Yeah, that's a big school.
It's a big school. You got Jason Taylor's son. You got the who's who of Fort Lauderdale going there. It's more like a small college campus.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And so they're at a different level, but Chaminade falls into 3A classification. They're in the 7A classification. And I think Heritage might be 4. I don't know. I think they're a little bit bigger.
They've rejiggered it this year, so I'm not quite sure, but they are all separate divisions. So they each have a chance to win state titles, which would be kind of cool considering.
I think even more than a chance.
I think
they might be front runners.
And the giving them even more of an edge this year is the fact that the state title games, the semifinals and the title games are here in Fort Lauderdale.
How cool is that?
At Drive Pink Stadium in the middle of December. I think it's December 14th or somewhere like Friday, Saturday, that weekend around there is going to be all these title games, and hopefully all the home teams will be taking home the crown. So that's going to be pretty cool. So you have all the high school activity here, and now you got the Dolphins, who are not just like
Just
in
getting
first
by.
place, but they look good and they're exciting to watch. Pack. I mean,
Oh,
can
my
you believe
God.
this? Pinch
No.
yourself, right?
No. That was an overwhelming win. That wasn't just a win.
Yeah, it was a whooping.
That
It was
a
a
whooping.
team victory.
Yeah. And Jalen Phillips, I love that kid. He reminds me. My son and I used to always watch him as an edge rusher, and his versatility was under question.
Yep.
What do they go out and compliment him on the other side with Bradley
Another-
Chubb?
another
I mean, this
monster
guy's a
rusher.
monster. So now they put some key components together. I don't think this is a coincidence. I think that when good things start happening, they just start falling into place.
Yeah.
They have that look of a
Yeah.
team of destiny
They
almost.
do. They do.
I mean,
They do.
considering what could have been
Oh yeah.
in terms of all this talk about Ross was trying to bring in Brady and Sean Payton.
All true.
I know it was true.
It's all true. It's all
And-
true.
And it was
But
dumb.
the fact is,
Yeah, it was all true.
It was dumb.
No, it's true.
Look at what
It
they
would have
had.
been a take around. No, it wasn't collusion. That was all true.
right. And to me,
it was stupid. But
But
it
look
was
what
true.
they have.
it would have been a huge step back. I mean, okay, great. Marquee wise, you get the greatest quarterback of all time, but
Yeah.
he's got what, 1-2 years left, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, he's showing some signs of life the last couple of weeks, but that's not what you want to build towards. You want to have a guy like a McDaniel come in,
Yep.
embrace this young, talented quarterback who just hadn't gotten the right support.
Yep.
And with now Greer actually did something right, pulling the trigger on this Tyreek Hill.
Huge.
Have you ever seen one player elevate and just change the whole complexion of a team the way Tyreek Hill has? Because
In football.
basically,
We had a guy that I used to focus on back in the day. Now he's actually the wide receiver coach. That was our guy that went to New England that impacted a game on the level that he did. As just a
Welker. Okay,
I'm telling you,
yeah.
I used to sit
Well,
there.
he was a little spark plug.
Yeah, but he would. But
You had to watch him.
you had to watch him. Okay,
Right.
and this guy, not only you have to watch him, but he takes it to another level.
Yeah.
and I
He
saw
was
that
scared the
component
daylights
that
out of you.
came together, and I'm like, this guy's amazing.
Right,
It's
but
amazing.
But by adding him, you
Oh.
make Tua immeasurably better. You
Waddle.
make Waddle immeasurably better.
Tight end.
You open up the running game, and now you're seeing some actual, good long gains and a running game. The last couple, last week it was great seeing the two guys, Mostert and the other one,
Jeff Wilson.
And I mean, I know it's only the Browns, but
The Browns have a good defense.
they've put together themselves. They have an exciting team to watch. And a double bonus for you longtime Dolphins fans, but back in the day, now recently suffering, but back in the day, perfect season. And what happens on Monday night? The champagne glasses come
I
out.
think they saved all their mistakes for one day.
Yeah,
Like,
but
Oh, the
I've
Eagles,
had
yeah.
days like that in the restaurant business. It's not pretty,
But
Like,
it's
we're doing
bound to
everything-
happen.
Yeah, it happens. Murphy's Law.
But it didn't happen in 72, 50th anniversary of that undefeated team, 17-0. Where do you stand on that? Are you one of those who celebrate like the 72 Dolphins when the last
I do. Listen, here's the way I look at it. I celebrate anything done perfectly. And I was looking at my heroes. I knew those guys. Like I told you, I looked up to them back in the day. And I loved seeing Bob Greasy in his interview. A couple older guy who was sitting there. He said Larry Little, and they had Jim Langer, who lived right here in Hollywood Hills. I used to go down Buchanan Street, see him working out at Chaminade.
Yeah.
And they had, the Stanfield, they had the guys right here going to Stratford's, local guys, and they were in the hot tub, and they were like, who's going to beat us? They had 4 games, and they go, New England's not going to beat us. This one's not going to beat us. And I think that's what happened at Philadelphia. They looked past Washington.
there's always a danger of a letdown game. You
exactly.
think it's going to be a non-division
right.
game and
Yes.
on the road.
And that
This was
Jeff-
shocking.
That was Saturday's. That was his coming out party too.
Yeah. So
and there was Matt Ryan, our quarterback, the Dolphins quarterback, that should have been the first pick. That was a no-brainer. That we could have had a career like that.
Oh,
here.
the Colts.
but
The Colts
now-
on Sunday. Yeah, the Colts on Sunday.
as a fan, aren't you
Okay.
kind of happy with the way now that Tua finally looks comfortable and is
Oh, my
developing
God.
and
Oh, yeah.
you would rather maybe have him now over
some of these other guys, yeah,
Herbert
I mean-
in San Diego.
I don't know.
or LA?
Herbert is, he's the quintessential pocket passer.
Yeah,
so
drop back quarterback.
it's like a, I think when we had our format had been convinced that we needed after Mahomes that you needed somebody that could move, and this guy has some really spectacular placement with his ball. But Herbert's arm strength is just it changes the whole dynamics, and he doesn't have here's the thing: they had Clayton and Duper there. Okay.
Right.
So that gives you a whole different dynamic when you got people going deep like that. That can get
when you
ball,
got two
like
of them.
Hill and Waddle.
And who do you key on? Whoever they key on, you go on the other side.
Way.
Yeah. So,
but what I do like is I don't have to be relegated anymore. No offense to reading about swagger with Jimmy Johnson. I heard him on the. I'm like, dude, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this 90s shit. I'm tired of this. Well, come on now. You came here. You took down all the memorabilia from Shula. You were going to reinvent yourself here. You were going to do all this sort of stuff. You didn't do anything.
He didn't get it done
here.
He did get it done in Dallas. And this is the only thing, that I say maybe all is not lost down in Coral Gables with the Canes and their new coach, but
they're losing blue chip stock though.
Yeah, but the thing is, I would always say that Jimmy went 1-15 in his first year in Dallas.
Yeah.
And that was right after the Herschel trade, and I guess
isn't it funny Herschel in the news now?
Yeah, I don't want to get into that.
The Herschel trade was what started that.
The Herschel trade was what started. He got all these draft picks. He got Emmitt Smith, and that first year, people forget. I was there because I was covering the NFL that year, and I went in. The Dolphins played the Cowboys that year, and at that point they were like 1-8 or something. It was like I think a Thanksgiving game, but they ended up finishing 1-15. So sometimes you do.
You want to walk down history. Let's remember the guy that we all love, Coach Shula. He got rid of Bobby Beathard, and he had an academy down here that was could just replenish the Dolphins. But he was hell bent on the old school character, Jay Brophy, Eric Kumaro, this guy, that guy.
Right.
They didn't even pass on normal guys. They passed on Winston Moss in later rounds, second rounds.
This is spoken like a long-suffering.
This was just, when we think about it, I'm like, dude, you had an era with a feeder system in the 90s right here that could have complemented our Dolphins coming right out of U of M. So Jimmy Johnson, he just knew. Emmitt Smith, he picked up the
he got it done in Dallas. By the time he got here, he's already been.
He was ready to retire.
He was ready to retire. I only judge on what you did lately. I'm sorry.
Okay, all right.
I got to be honest with you. This food's here
Sound
right
like
now. Do you want to hear that in 2018 I won the best wings
I tell you what.
in the state? You want to hear that?
Tell you what.
5 years ago, these wings won. No.
What have you done for me lately?
Yeah, I want to.
Lately, I took a bite out of this turkey, and it is a gorgeous piece of roasted turkey
because it's free range.
It's free range.
Oh, wow.
I can taste
so
it.
It tastes like turkey,
and it's.
Yeah.
I know I used this word yesterday. It's moist.
I use it, and you make fun of me for using it.
No, I love it. And it's great. It's perfectly tender, perfectly seasoned. Got that nice dressing on top. A little more gravy on top. And the stuffing on the bottom. I'm happy. I'm ready to celebrate Thanksgiving early with my mouth full, as usual.
Hey, listen, I was talking to myself for a lot of years because Stephen Ross, I know he's provided a tremendous facility and all that sort of stuff. And he put a lot of money in everything. But when I heard about, he actually was the one who wanted Lamar to come here, who I used to follow all the time, and they passed on him. This has just been like a new awakening. Like, am I really? Look right here. Tua's Banner Day versus the Browns. Right here
on the
featured.
screens.
It's right on the screen.
He's
right
an
here.
MVP race.
I mean, come on.
And that's the thing is, and I was watching you, and I was talking with OG McDuffie, a gentleman I'm sure you're very aware of.
Come on, I love
today, and it
celebrated at Bartender's Bash with him. He's quite a guy.
Oh, he's a blast. He's a really good dude.
Yeah, he
is. I was talking with him this morning, and we were just talking about McDaniel and the difference between Flores and McDaniel, and the fact that
old school.
It's just a different day. What's funny about McDaniel is the big criticism was, will he be too soft? And what you're noticing, no, he's not. They respect him. Yeah. But he also knows to treat them. It's like how you, I'm sure, have grown over the years as a manager, an owner, to realize, look, I can't just bark at people. They're adults. If I treat them with respect, they'll treat me with respect. And you sort of see this team growing together by the game in a way you haven't for years with the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, but the other good thing about McDaniel is besides like coaching them to some wins and having an exciting offense, if your computer breaks, you could just call him because I think he's part of the Geek Squad. That's his side gig. He looks like a guy who just kind of fell out of Google.
I'll give you a good analogy. Back in the day, we typically, when you see Gordon Ramsay with his screaming and his yelling and all that sort of stuff, that was the type of kitchen that I grew up in. That's how I worked. When I came into this industry, everybody was like that. So it was almost like you were a indentured servant, but also everybody in there was like, next to being a roofer, it was a pretty oppressive place. Okay,
It wasn't fun.
It wasn't fun. No, it wasn't.
I mean, you had passion for what you did.
Only poor people, only poor people.
You had to do.
Yeah. So rising up through the ranks, we got to accept that sort of stuff, and it was the same way with college coaching and football coaching.
Woody Hayes.
Woody Hayes.
Even Shula to an
How about what
extent.
happened at FSU when they had the chicken wire thing? They had them in there in the chicken coop. You remember that? They had abusive thing going on in FSU.
Yep.
But anyway, the past history of football being gladiator sport, now it's like me. I had a beautiful girl come in and see me. And it used to be, you'd be off every Sunday and Monday. You work 5 days a week. She said, listen, I'm looking for a bartender gig. I have a following. I'm really good at mixing cocktails. I'm excellent. I got a good resume, blah, blah, blah. You can pick any 3 days you want me to work, but I got to tell you right up front, I don't want to be bothered on the other 4 days a week. I'm coming in here. I have a life, and that's what I see with people now.
Right.
I see that
Balance,
with people,
the
young
work-life balance.
millenniums. They're, you're 25 years old. You want to be able to go here and do this. And the ball players are the same way. Yep. And you know what
like Defoe, we have to let him go up to Atlantic City or Vegas every so often. Otherwise, he just turns into a caged beast. He has to be able to hit his slot machines.
Irritable, discontented.
Honestly,
I think I have that disease.
You've been known to hit.
December 26th, it's going to open up at Gulfstream Racetrack.
Yeah.
So I'll be able to calm that beast.
The winter meet, and we're going to be there.
Oh my God.
By the way, Pat,
my God,
you might have to come visit it. We just kind of struck a new deal. We're going to be doing Fridays at Gulfstream, the Lunchbox on Fridays at Gulfstream Park during the championship meet. Actually, we're going to start a little bit earlier, December 9th, our first Friday. So come on out, and we'd love to have you be on the show and give some picks. We're going to have a handicapping contest each week as part of the show where we're going to have people pick the feature race on a Saturday, and the ones that get the winners will get a gift certificates, comps to 10 Palms for a Sunday brunch buffet.
One of my favorite, our boys are there.
You
Joey
love hanging
Bija,
there.
Charles,
yeah.
And I go along back with those guys. I was telling you, Cliff, he's a friend of mine. Yep. He's Edgar Prado's guy. All the big guys are coming. Bobby DeBona was here yesterday, and he has some nice horses running now, but the big boys are coming.
Oh, yeah.
The best horses in the country are coming here. Yeah.
And
it's exciting.
Yeah,
I live in Hollywood for that.
Oh yeah, no, and I hear they're opening
Hard
Rock.
I hear they may be reopening the poker room there at Gulfstream soon too, which got shut down part of the whole COVID shutdowns, and they never reopened the poker room. But I hear through the grapevine that they might be back in action for the big winter meet. Because a lot of those players, there's 30 minutes between races, and they don't want to just bet every race around the country at that time of year. They'd rather sit around and play some poker. So anyway, it's going to be exciting having
let's talk
our
betting for a minute. Let's say something about betting.
Okay.
We love horse racing. We like poker.
How'd you do on the Breeders' Cup?
I did very well.
Yeah.
So let's see why we like it. Okay.
Yeah.
When we can think of an outcome, it's not just pure luck. Okay.
It's a puzzle.
It's a puzzle.
It's
Exactly.
solving puzzles. It's for
like
people with a brain.
I knew that Buffalo came here to this heat when they traveled here, and they had the starters out, and the heat was waiting and ominous that they were going to go here. The same way I knew they were to suffer the Dolphins 4 days later in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
You got to
you get a feel for these
things. You got to feel for this. So if you're a gambler, you only want to bet on stuff that you can kind of understand the outcome.
Right. And look, some people now, obviously sports betting is become more and more of a legal thing. Advertising, fantasy leagues. But I like the purity of horse racing because you're not depending on a whole team or a referee. Stewards sometimes get in the way and make a disqualification. But, you basically have the best horse usually wins unless there's a trouble trip. Jockeys can, win or lose, but it's basically one horse, one jockey. But in a field, if you can scope it out, and horse racing, unlike a Dolphins game, as much as we love going to Dolphins games, I've never returned back home from the stadium with more money in my pocket than when I left.
Also, you got to remember it's 10-11 against for you with sport. With you flip a coin.
Yeah.
Okay. They set the money line or the line to what you want, But once you get into the intricate nuances of like our buddies up at Seville and everything, but you get to know how you can take a 10-cent and you can put that. And you know what you could do? You can actually put the favorite, or you could put the other horse in the second all.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
get returns. There's so many different.
Bet a little to win a lot. That's always my
Exactly.
MO. And actually, I was able to do okay during Breeders' Cup. I didn't have the biggest score, but I just was in action all weekend, cashing a lot of different tickets, having fun, drinking beer, hanging out. And I wasn't
Does it
up
get
in
much better than that.
No, I wasn't up in Lexington, Kentucky, like our boy Joey from Seville. They went up and had a great boys' weekend. But just being able to go out and about at the various pari-mutuels in town, I enjoy it. And when I refer to not leaving the Dolphins game with more money in your pocket, I mean, how can you with $50 parking and $20 beers? I don't know. I'm exaggerating, but
so should we kick out 602 and put a couple races in today?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I'm always game for a little TVG action or
a little TVG
FanDuel, but I don't even know what's on the cards now. You know what? This is one thing I do have a little bit of discipline, so that once the Breeders' Cup is over, I actually do go on the shelf and I don't make a horse bet until early December, when some of the big barns start showing up at Gulfstream.
And they're all coming this year.
Yeah, and so usually by that Friday will be my kind of like breaking the fast in the Jewish tradition. So I'm fasting right now when it comes to horses from the Breeders' Cup until that Friday, where we're going to launch our first Lunchbox live edition from Gulfstream Park on Friday, December 9th, I believe.
Yes, sir.
So come on out that day and we'll plunge our guts out, Pat.
Talking about how you say, like, you got the money line, you got the over under, you got your parlays, you got all your sports books. Bet on professional sports, and now it's legal, on your phone. How about the fact that you can go to Gulfstream like I did one? You always have these moments, and you see a horse that got claimed by the trainer, and he's keeping the horse for himself, like Fletcher, Tesher, so it happened to be Fletcher on this. It was a horse, and it was on the. About 4 or 5 years ago. It's going off at 50-1, Gamay Noir. Okay, 50-1. And I look at this horse and it's going off 50-1, and I have to put this horse on top and do those creative bets.
Yeah,
at 10 cents, this, that, boom, 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 and you can walk out of there with a $12 bet. With yourself,
like 3 dimes, with like $3,000.
Exactly.
And there's nothing better. You feel like the king of the world. You feel like Einstein. If you've solved that, forget E equals MC squared. When you are able to key a 50-1 shot on a $12 superfecta ticket.
I saw him as the owner, and he's running it in a stakes race at
makes
50-1.
You feel like a genius.
I felt like I was a genius.
Hey, can you stick around? We got to do some business here, but stick around. We're going to talk. I want to talk some World Cup with you and some other upcoming events and things, but first we got to talk about our great friends Nikki Mohan and Visit Lauderdale. We're going to be doing a show with them this Friday down at the Mystic Lobster in Fort Lauderdale, New Street. Lobster rolls have become all the big things. Do you ever offer lobster rolls here?
I do.
Oh yeah.
I have not seen it on your menu.
I have to do a cold water lobster. No offense to our Florida friends here, which are prevalent. They don't have flavor. So once
you're a man after my own heart.
So you can't serve that sort of product. No offense.
Yeah,
unless I fry them and then dip them in cocktail. You could do cardboard like that.
Well, so Mystic Lobster is using only cold water.
There you go.
New England, Maine, Nova Scotia lobsters, and again, like you said, that's
Canadian.
where the flavor, the sweet meat.
Deep down.
Visit Lauderdale and Greater Fort Lauderdale. We're going to be with them on Friday, but now we're here with you, and it just shows you the range of diversity here. And the Greater Fort Lauderdale welcomes everybody under the sun.
Yep.
And that means all you foodies out there.
Yep.
And I've got turkey in my mouth. I'm getting ready for Thanksgiving. So the culinary explorers, cocktail connoisseurs, craft beer aficionados, come one, come all to Greater Fort Lauderdale. We've got so many different restaurants and cuisines. You can get ready to savor every flavor, every moment. It's dockside dining along the coast and intracoastal with breathtaking views. There's lively cafes along Las Olas Boulevard, award-winning chefs serving up every cuisine imaginable, like our friends Timon Ballou and his wife Marissa down at the Catherine. Have you been into the Catherine yet?
Yes.
They do a great job.
I love that little place. It's got that good
great vibe.
upscale feel, great vibe, great food. And that's what
Great
makes
name.
this.
Great
yeah.
name.
Oh yeah, the Catherine
Going
is
to the Catherine.
Miss his wife Marissa's middle name is Catherine, so
Beautiful.
he sometimes refers to her as the Catherine, and that's why they got the name.
That's
So
like my wife. I call her the boss.
a very
Oh, yeah.
smart man.
Same thing. Yeah.
I don't want to say anything about baby mama Michelle, but I do still call her a
She's
good
still the
friend.
boss. Yeah, she's
And
still the
I
boss.
never.
Oh, that was what you were calling her?
Among other things.
and,
Oh, yeah, that was it.
and she never calls me late for dinner because
There
when
you
she's
go.
cooking, I'm always there. But
Exactly.
look, come stay and play in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Discover all the taste sensations that are here. More than 4,000 area restaurants run by really good people like our friend Pat Utter here.
Exactly.
And you can also explore the thrilling nightlife scene and all these great craft breweries now along
What a cool venue.
Yeah.
Visit Lauderdale Ale Trail. And there's all this other stuff going on. It's a never-ending culinary celebration in
Come
Greater Fort
on.
Lauderdale, and everyone's invited. For all the latest information and events, go check out visitlauderdale.com.
Can I give a little secret to South Florida Eats?
Obviously.
Oh, you mean Let's Eat South
Let's
Florida?
Eat South
yeah,
Florida, I mean, yeah.
93,000 or 92.
Yeah,
Sorry,
let's
92,000.
remember we're with turkey brining, folks.
Oh, brining.
Let's take brining and let's take it to the next level because everybody wants to know.
A one-day
restaurant, there's
bath. Everybody needs a little bath
and
before getting.
You need a brining, and if you could dry brine, just like any meat, it enhances the flavor.
What's a dry brine? How do you,
I don't want to explain all the components.
do you like stick it with a syringe?
No, you brine it, and then after you don't
Oh, you
want
pat
just,
it down with a towel.
You don't just, and then you dry it out.
Oh,
You
Michelle does that.
Oh, she
Michelle's a
does?
really good cook. Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
She
because-
gives it
yeah.
the brine bath,
Yes.
takes it out, she pats it down with a towel.
That's
It's
where
like
people
a
don't know.
massage by like she
So it
She
pushes
just
pats
it
it
in.
down.
wrap it up, and then
Okay.
let it
sticks
settle.
it in the
because
fridge for
you don't
about
want it
another
to be
day.
like all puffed. So
Okay.
you want to dry it down.
We
Okay.
get our birds on Tuesday. She gives it the
Oh.
brine Tuesday night. Then
And
she
then
does
dry.
the dry thing from Wednesday
I
night.
hate people like her. How did they? I've been doing this for 50 years. How did she learn this?
She's good.
I know.
For
You
an
sent me some
amateur,
pictures.
she is one of the better
That's what I'm
chefs.
saying.
Her,
There's
her
people.
tables always look. I love Thanksgiving. It's
I
my
do too.
favorite
It's
It's
holiday.
my
do
favorite
too.
holiday.
Hey, let's take a long break. We'll
Okay.
get some business done, some bills paid, and we'll be back with Pat Utter at Shenanigan's East Side. Come on out. It's getting full in here after these words.
All right.
People come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial. Serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans. For 30 years, they've been doing a great job. The original location, West Side, 3303 Sheridan Street, just across from TY Park in Hollywood. And there's the East Side location, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. You go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the blackened grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late in both locations. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent. Looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more? Go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 in the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Cafe in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets, they've got eggs Benedict, they've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally, and they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Go in there on a Wednesday. They got buy one, get one on cheesesteaks from 5 to 8 p.m. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
Back. We're back on the Lunchbox, and it's pandemonium here at Shenanigan's East Side Pub. The unofficial mascot and my personal Svengali, Jim Sarney, just walked in. Come on to the cameras, Jim. Up, he's wandering away. But here I am. I've got kind of all kinds of schmutz on my fingers. I've been eating the wings. I was going to dunk one into.
I love the grabbing of the bacon. Like,
do you think it's wrong? I took the bacon off the cheeseburger.
And I'm actually giving you a side.
And now I'm going to put it in blue cheese because bacon and blue cheese. Let's face it, it's kind of a highway to a heart attack. And here we go.
I was going to say, is that actually a thing?
Oh wow!
Like, I think you're just creating things.
That's good. That's really good. I mean, you've seen bacon blue cheeseburgers.
Yes. Well, and also the bacon wrapped dates. A lot of time I'll have a cheese that's similar to blue cheese with bacon on it. Yes, I get it.
That's a fantastic flavor profile right there. So
okay, let me ask you actually, because it's funny, their bacon seems to be the way I like bacon. Most people like it uber crispy. I like, and I know it's pretty much fat, so you're supposed to have a crispy. I like it where it's
you got a little bit
meaty. Yes,
this is kind of a meat. It's more
like meaty, and that's how I like it.
Parts of it are like crisp, but other parts are like kind of jerky, so you kind of get that chewy texture and flavor.
What is your preference?
I like crispy. I'm a crispy guy.
Yeah, okay.
You know,
you're like an old school dude.
And their fries are crispy. Come on out to Shenanigan's East Side, 1300 South Federal Highway. The other thing you should do before we get, we'll try to get Pat Utter back on because I wanted to talk. He's telling us some stories about.
Yeah,
back when he first started, there was no Food Network. No, there were no celebrity chefs. No. I mean, you had Julia Child and a couple of other high-profile, fancy French chefs, but this wasn't a glamour profession. This was, he was saying, you'd get stuck in a 100-degree kitchen without a break, on your feet all day, just sweating up a storm, and it was
thankless.
It was thankless, and the people in the kitchens didn't have a lot of options. I mean, these were people. There was no such thing as culinary schools. Nope. They didn't go to the CIA or the Cordon Bleu. They just were from the School of Hard Knocks.
Yep. Some
of them have gotten into trouble and gotten out of jail and got chances working in kitchens, and it was a rough place. But the world has changed, and the world. He said, back then it was really a last resort. Now a lot of people doing it because they love it. They have passion. They have options too. So you got to also treat your workers better. And I know he treats his workers really well here, which is why you got to be willing to sometimes pay for a little more, for better quality of product and better service, and you get all that here at Shenanigans. But still great value. They have all kinds of specials. I mean, $13.99 for this kind of platter of turkey.
A plate. Like, two people could eat that, to be really honest.
So it's a perfect mix. Neighborhood place that has good food, good drink specials. So come on out. Want to also talk about our friends at the VL Food Wine Festival.
I cannot wait.
Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival upcoming in January, and we're going to be happy to be part of it. We're going to be doing all kinds of work with some of the chefs that are taking part, local chefs, along with visiting celebrities that are going to be involved as judges and doing cooking demonstrations. the next few weeks, we're going to be starting up because the festival is coming up right around the corner after the holidays. Once the New Year's is here, that week in January, where they're going to have intimate dinners.
Nice.
Basically, the week of January 9th through the 15th. We're going to be involved with there's a bar battle cocktail competition on Wednesday night, January 11th, and then the barbecue battle competition on Friday the 13th, and the grand tasting down at Las Olas Beachfront Park there, right on A1A and Las Olas Boulevard. That's going to be on Saturday, January 14th. Tickets for all of them are available right now at vlfoodwine.com. That's VL, like Visit Lauderdale, foodwine.com. If you go online, you look at all the different events, click on tickets, and if you get tickets to those 3 big events that I just mentioned, cocktails, barbecue, and grand tasting, enter code Lunchbox, like us, the Lunchbox, and you'll get an additional 15% off the already low prices. So we love Phil
and you
Kate.
get to see Mike Mayo as a food judge. This is the thing I'm actually waiting for, to see you in your world eating food and judging it.
You know, when I get serious about eating, and I'm not talking about eating Skyline chili or some, but like when I'm assessing something for the first time, and like Dickstein is great at this. Steve Dickstein up in Delray Beach, best of Delray Beach. I don't know why he called in the middle of the show. I'm doing a show over here.
He was commenting.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah. Well, he realized that I'm doing a show because I don't know why he would call at 12:15. But the bottom line is he takes some great photos of me when I'm eating. We went to this Death by Pizza, the new place, Detroit style pizza, opened in Delray. Not new, but they've changed. They're now a brick and mortar that's full time as opposed to a 1 day a week pop up. But he took this shot of me when I was like taking my first bites. And I have that intensity where I have that like that Mike Mayo, like I'm the taste buds are working, the brain cells are like, is this good? Is it the crunch right? Is it and he takes the greatest food portraiture, not of the food, but of me eating the food. So thank you, Dickstein. He sent me. I'll show it to you. I'll post it on Instagram at Mike Mayo Eats, and also we'll have it on the South Florida Live social media channels. What else? I don't know if we could get Pat back over here. He's like hobnobbing with people. He looks like he's got serious business. I wanted to talk to him about the World Cup is coming up, and Jim Sarney has been hawking me a China about like, are we going to go to different locations? Because I guess 32 teams.
Here he is, right on
8
cue.
different groups. Here he is, Pat Utter, back in action here. Let's get the headphones back on. We're not done with you yet, sir. You're the man with
many plans,
and some damn good.
I got on the back of my card. What's the plan? There is no plan.
There is no. Everybody has a plan.
Yeah, it doesn't
until
work
they
out
get
like
punched
that.
in the face. That's the Mike Tyson line.
Oh yeah.
So no, it just started talking about World Cup soccer, which it's an odd time of year.
Big,
but down here in South Florida, such an international community, there is huge passion. What do you expect here? Are you going to be having all the games, early morning games? What are you doing? What's your plans?
All right, so
start Sunday.
Being Irish American, right?
Yeah.
And having the European flavor. Okay, so my best buddy and the GM, he's a big ex-rugby player. So you wouldn't think that things like rugby or soccer would have such a big impact, but we draw the line at opening at 9 o'clock in the morning. So all those other 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. No. We can't staff the place.
Okay, so 11 o'clock regular openings.
No, we can. If it comes down to the finals and it starts getting big and it's a 9 o'clock in the morning kick, okay, we'll go along with that.
Okay,
we'll have a nice brunch. We'll put some corned beef hash out. We'll have our brunch menu rocking and rolling. But for the most part,
you'll stick with your standard hours. But these TVs here will have
glued
all the
to
action.
Glued to it, and they'll be yelling and screaming. You know, we have a.
I haven't studied the tables of each, group. I guess there's 4 in each group.
Yep.
And 2 make it through to around the 16, and then there's the quarters. And
I like the vocal Brazilians.
I love the vocal. I like the dancing Brazilians.
Dancing Brazilians. I didn't really, and we're huge down here with Venezuela too now.
Yes.
So we have a lot of
Argentina.
Argentina. Yes, we have a lot of people here,
and they have I guess a pretty respectable squad this year.
Yes, they do.
I haven't looked at any of the handicapping. I don't know who's favorite to go through. I know that
which you could throw right out the window.
What's that?
Throw it out the window.
Oh.
No, throw out that handicap.
Oh, okay.
We got to handicap ourselves. We're going for the odds. We're
Okay.
not going. We're not going. Yeah.
Fine. I'll
Yeah.
tell you what. Let's just bet on a draw every game and see how that works out.
I hope that doesn't come up.
Well, until
That-
the round of
that-
18,
that's
draws
the
aren't
one.
allowed.
That's the nemesis of soccer.
Yeah,
The
I
draw.
love soccer. I spent a little time in Europe as a college student in London, and a buddy of mine was a huge fan of Arsenal.
Oh.
So I developed a kind of a lifelong affinity for the Gunners of Arsenal,
Okay.
and went to a couple of games there at the stadium before it got all fancy. It was in a little rundown part of town. With a kind of a very humble stadium, kind of the way the Orange Bowl used to be. Now everything has gotten all glammed up.
Are you
because there's
kidding
so
me?
much
Orange
money.
Bowl was the 1985 Bears.
Oh yeah,
When they came down here,
Bears.
the Bears.
those were the days.
The wood was shaking. The place was rocking.
No, I mean, were you at that game? You
Yeah,
were,
I was there. I actually had a terrible flu bug, so nobody wanted me to go, but I dragged myself there. And it was, of course, there was so much that they brought all the 72 Dolphins.
They were
Marino.
staring him down.
Yes,
Zonko
yes.
was going to tackle guys.
As a
right
matter
on
of
the
fact,
field.
what everybody was talking about is the Eagles really in the category of like the Bears or the Dolphins? Or
No.
how about the team
The
that,
answer is no.
How about the team that 12.5-point favorites over the New York Giants,
Yeah.
the New England Patriots that were undefeated going to the Super
That's
Bowl?
right. They were
yeah,
trying to
yeah.
cap off their perfect season. And instead,
yeah.
they had another one of
Some
those
legendary moments.
Well, they got beaten by an immaculate reception.
Yes.
Well,
That was
they were
the
talking
helmet,
about it because of
Tyree.
that catch, Tyree, but because what happened in Minnesota with that one-hand catch.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Oh, my
with
God.
Justin Jefferson, that was amazing.
Oh, my goodness.
all good stuff.
Good.
Hey, Pat, thanks
Yes.
so much
You're
for
welcome.
coming on today and hosting us as usual. Let's make this a monthly thing, or actually, you'll come out to Gulfstream
Yeah,
one
you should
time.
come
We'll
check
come
us out at
back
Gulfstream,
here
man.
and
Gulfstream on a Friday, does it get any better than that?
I don't like to
Gulfstream on a
twist your arm.
Saturday is just as good. But
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
Fridays is starting
No,
off the
listen, I
weekend.
got to give a shout out to you guys. I appreciate, and the fact that you combine food with sports, and then you throw in a little
gambling, a little
gambling
fun.
there, a little fun.
Yeah.
These are all components that make
And you know
that
what?
name Shenanigans, which means mischief.
Right, a little mischief, but
Very, very
making
synonymous.
Very
good
fitting.
trouble as,
Yes.
as one of the politicians.
Yes.
And that's the other great part of this. We don't talk politics here. We don't get
What
away
politics?
from
What
we,
politics?
Don't worry about
we don't
any of
have
that.
we don't
I
have
have
to
no
talk
opinion.
elections,
I have
or
no
presidential campaigns.
We don't
No.
talk religion
No.
or politics.
Now we have
here.
fun.
No,
We're here to
I
have a good
talk
time.
religion, but it's my Jewish guilt because I always feel guilty about that. I actually am like trying to make a living by eating and going around, and it's so much fun.
I actually went to see Adam Sandler, not to get off the subject.
Oh yeah, how was
Defoe
that?
was there. What
Hey,
was
I gotta
your
tell you,
thoughts?
what's your
This is
review?
a bizarre man.
Okay.
This
Yes.
is a very bizarre man, but I can understand how he did that portrayal in Uncut Gems.
Did you like that movie?
I love that movie.
See,
It's
I
funny,
love
Mayo
that.
loved it. Defoe
I
and I
loved it.
hated
I
it.
felt
Defoe
that-
and Lubie
I felt
hated
that
did not like it.
I felt that captured the real component
of gambling.
of gambling. How you could just hold. James Caan did a portrayal.
Yes,
Yeah,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he was great, though.
Yeah, okay.
He
Defoe
was
loves
great.
that
Yes,
movie.
He was
okay.
great.
But it is not only the greediness factor, but you also have that yearning to just prove this
The
point.
highs and lows.
Like what we were just talking about, taking a 50-1 horse,
Right.
seeing it, and putting it on top with the whole field.
First of all, I
Who
love
does that?
You guys.
I love
Yeah.
Kevin Garnett's teeth in that movie. That he should have won a best supporting actor for his,
Oh, it was
just
tremendous.
for his teeth
Tremendous.
alone. And then no, I thought Sandler did a good job in that movie. I loved the ending. A lot of
Good
people
job.
did.
I hated the ending.
I think he deserved the
Yeah,
Academy
he
Award.
should have had. They didn't like it. They thought it was
I didn't
whatever.
think it sucked. I just
predictable.
thought it was a little like, come on.
But I just love the
Little
ending
cynical.
because you think the
Yeah,
guy
the
makes
end,
the
like,
score of his life.
He finally
and-
makes the score, and then they just
Well, that's-
first of all, as any gambler knows, you wouldn't kill him until he paid. Why would you kill him before he paid?
well,
That makes
He
no
wasn't
sense.
going to get paid.
don't get little. He
But you
wasn't
don't-
going to
He
get
wasn't
paid.
getting paid. That was the whole
And it's-
thing.
The whole point
The
is
girl
that
had the money.
you can't win. Even when you think you have the biggest score of your life,
You
you're
still
still going to end
lose,
up.
exactly.
There's always the
dead
next
in the
one.
end.
That's why we keep coming back.
That's it.
All
Man.
right.
Oh, so how was the show, by the way? Because Defoe
So
went. He
Defoe
wasn't
hated it.
thrilled.
All right, I got to tell you
Did you
something.
go on the first night or the second night?
I'm a responsible vendor.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm continually around people that are inebriated. I'm suspicious of what he was on that night.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think
People
he
didn't
got
talk
tied
about
up
that.
with.
That's funny.
I think he got tied up with Deuce Bigelow, Rob Ryder. I think these guys were. I think these guys opened a portal in their brain. And I listened to a lot of nonsense in the restaurant and bar business, but that was about the worst amount of garbage that I listened to from a perverted mind.
Wow.
He was throwing stuff against the wall.
Yeah.
I think he was checking the audience to see
That's
what they
funny.
went with. And he just said, you know what? I don't care about this audience. I'm just going to come up with whatever pops in my crazy mind.
He's kind of trolling them?
Yeah. That's what it looked like.
Devo didn't say that, but Devo did say everyone was better than him.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the opening acts were all way better than Sandler.
Listen, you got to understand, Devo and I are looking at it with the same eyes, but I also was with some young people that were there, and they didn't enjoy it either. It was just weirdness.
Yeah.
It was weird.
It was weird.
How about Chappelle? You going to go see Dave Chappelle?
I'm not really, like talking about commentate. I do like Chappelle, how he did the thing on Saturday Night
Yeah, he was
Live,
great.
and he said that Trump opened the door to see what the real power to be will.
Yeah.
I think that was pretty poignant.
I thought,
But I don't want to spend an evening of introspective.
That's
I'll
what he
walk out
does,
there.
yeah,
I
that's
might go to the back rack table and throw my life savings.
We know where
down
you'll
on-
be.
That's it. We get everything from this man. We get
Yeah.
Dolphins news. We get the views on reviews
Comedy.
on comedy shows at the Hard Rock, and we get horseplay.
Well, the Hard Rock is my country club.
okay.
You know, I don't play golf. I fish for a happy and gamble. So I 18 years.
A man after my own
18
heart.
years. 18 years. If I need a venue to go have some fun and blow up some steam, it's the Hard Rock and Gulfstream.
Beautiful.
You know.
Nice. Hey, well, thanks
My
for
pleasure,
again,
guys.
everything.
Good seeing you.
And we
Man,
got to
thank
just
you
do
so
one
much.
more
You guys
piece of
go
business, and
ahead.
then we'll wrap up today's show.
Always good to see you.
And
Good to see you,
we'll
Mr.
be back
Otter.
to finish up this remote edition of the Lunchbox after these words. Yeah.
You like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style, a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you.
We're back on the Lunchbox again. You got me. I was talking to Pat. I was chewing on a chicken, and then it went down the wrong hole. So
Mayo.
trying to avoid a coughing fit, but I think we'll get through it. Boy, was this fun today, Lubie.
Oh, it was a good
I
time.
love getting out and about because, you know, as much as we have fun at home and we go tackle some topics and chew on some things that the Let's Eat South Florida group gets up in a state about. There's nothing better. The whole essence of the Lunchbox show is to go out
Yes.
and eat some lunch. And we certainly
Experience the area we're in and show others that cannot experience this area what it's all about.
And what I love about coming into Shenanigans is they do a beautiful, lunch crowd
Yeah, they got a
every
nice
day.
crowd.
People come in there. People are having a good time here.
Yep.
You know, they're eating and drinking. Some people are working. Some people are off work. And I highly recommend it for, you know, whether it's a ball game or just coming in with some friends or family. A perfect place to enjoy. And, of course, another place that we got to mention is our friends
not
at
far from
Tropical
there.
Acres. Tropical Acres Steakhouse, 2500 Griffin Road. Holidays are coming up. Thanksgiving, they're fully booked, but they've got plenty of availability for Christmas Day. They'll be open 1 to 8 p.m. on Sunday, Christmas Day this year. So come on by, go online, tropicalacres.com, book your holiday reservations now. but every day they're open except Sunday. They have the butcher shop. They have the happy hour in the bar. They have the early bird special. They have the loyalty dining card. This is the last days of the Twin Lobster special.
Yes,
It's
get
going
in there.
bye-bye until next summer. So if you want to get that great deal, 2 Maine lobsters, freshly steamed, $35 with salad and side dish. Go in there in the next couple of days. It's available through Friday. And, of course, they've got all the great steaks, the prime rib, the rack of lamb. Tropical Acres, we love the Studio Alley family. Great value, great people, great service, good times. And tell them the Lunchbox sent you. I think that's going to do it for
Yes,
today,
sir.
right, Lubie? Let's get out of here. Let's let people get on with their lives. For Mike
I
Lubie
hope we weren't
Lubitz
stopping you from your life.
and the traveling Jeff Tifo DeForest, who will be back not tomorrow, but Friday.
yeah.
We'll be back tomorrow from the respective man caves before we hit the road again on Friday. Thanks for tuning in. And remember to enjoy every turkey dinner, wings, and every sandwich.